Too slow. Too slow. Hare Krishna. Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari 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 Gopi Janavalabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Jaya Girivaradari Girivaradari Gopi Janavalabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Janaranjana Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Ranjana Jaya Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krišna Hare Krišna Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Jaya Pancha Tattva 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 Jaya Gora Nitai 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 Gora Nitai Gora Nitai Jaya Gora Nitai Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Shila Prabhupada Shri Panchatattva ki jai, Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai. Hola, hola. Hare Krishna. This is a present for someone. We will see someone. We'll find someone. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Hare Krishna. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 24, Matsya, the Lord's Fish Incarnation. We start from text 7 and we see where we get. Text 7 doesn't have a purport, so I'll just read the translation. O King Parikshit, at the end of the past millennium, at the end of Brahma's day, because Lord Brahma sleeps during the night, annihilation took place and the three worlds were covered by the water of the ocean. Text number 8. At the end of Brahma's day, when Brahma felt sleepy and desired to lie down, the Vedas were emanating from his mouth, and a great demon named Hayagriva stole the Vedic knowledge. So here we have Brahma, who is also sometimes sleeping during the day. Probably he came late from Harinam. He went for Harinam the day before, so next day he was a bit sleepy, like. So he went to rest a bit. So we also find out that he was not when he was snoring. He's not snoring like we do sometimes when we're tired. We're like. So when Lord Brahma is resting, you can hear the Vedas. So probably when we are snoring, it's not. It's not really the Vedas. You don't hear Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. It's just as a side dish. Okay, we go to text 9. Okay, so we read the Sanskrit. Gyatvata Dana Vendrasya Hayagri Vasya Cheshtitam Dadarasha Parirupam Bhagavan Haririshvaraha Gyatvata Dana Vendrasya Hayagrivasya Cheshtitam Tadhara Sabhari Rupam Bhagavan Haririshvaraha Gyatva Dana Vendrasya Hayagrivasya Cheshtitam Dadarasha Parirupam Bhagavan Haririshvaraha Yatva Tadana Vendrasya Hayagrivasya Cheshtitam Dadarasha Parirupam Bhagavan Haririshvaraha. Mataji's. Okay. Gyatva. After understanding. That Danava Indrasya of the great demon. Hayagrivasya of Hayagriva. Cheshtitam activity. Dadara accepted. Shapari Rupam the form of a fish. Bhagavan the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hari the Lord. Ishvaraha the Supreme Controller. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Understanding the acts of the great demon Hayagriva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, who is full of all opulences, assumed the form of a fish and saved the Vedas by killing the demon. Purport. Because everything was inundated by water, to save the Vedas, it was necessary for the Lord to assume the form of a fish. Leave it on, because it's small purport, so we will... yeah. Okay, Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Shimate Praradharanta Swamiti Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyate Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, hare-rama, hare-rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, so this is just a small purport, just a small note, and then we go to next verse. Yeah, Srila Prabhupada says that it's normal to take the form of a fish, so it's always after you see what Krishna does, you see, like, yeah, it makes sense, you know. But, you know, before, you don't know what he's going to do. So, yeah, it's just Krishna always acts appropriately, but sometimes not according to what we would think before. So that's it. Then we next text, I'll just read the translation and purport. It's also a very small purport. It says, during the Chakshusha Manvantara, there was a king named Satyavrata who was a great devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Satyavrata performed austerities by subsisting only on water. Purport. The Lord assumed one fish incarnation to save the Vedas at the beginning of the Swayambhuva Manvantara, and at the end of the Chakshusha Manvantara, the Lord again assumed the form of a fish, just to favor the great king named Satyavrata. As there were two incarnations of Varaha, there were also two incarnations of fish. The Lord appeared as one fish incarnation to save the Vedas by killing Hayagriva, and he assumed the other fish incarnation to show favor to King Satyavrata. Okay, we'll say a few things about this text, and then we will go also to next one. Yeah, so we discussed before that there are three reasons for appearance of Krishna's incarnations: destroying the demons, protecting Dharma, and saving the devotees, or engaging in loving exchanges with the devotees. And it's really interesting to see how this is described in Bhagavatam also. You can see here they speak about Matsya avatar. So you have first incarnation where he kills the demon, Hayagriva demon, and he protects Dharma. And you can see it's 2 verses. That's it. Really, it's, he says, oh, Brahma felt sleepy, he was emanating the Vedas, Hayagriva demon stole it, and then Matsya avatar came and killed him. That's it. And then there's the second appearance of Matsya avatar, and it's in connection with Satyavrata and the loving exchanges with his devotee. And you will see that it's a lot more than that. It's a lot more than 2 verses. And this is really interesting to see how devotees are discussing Bhagavatam or this type of knowledge, and how non-devotees are discussing. Yesterday, Bhakta Domen, he told me that he was reading about the Manus. And I told him, oh, this is useless because it's from non-devotees. So before becoming Krishna conscious. And I have my own experience that at one point someone showed me a book about Krishna. It was about Krishna's life. And I was reading and checking, I was devotee already. So I was reading and saw the chapters, and it seemed, like correct. Like, yeah, this birth, this is this lila killing this demon, going back to Mathura, Dwaraka, this, that. And I tried to read a bit, and I was like, it was no substance. There was nothing, the information was there, but there was no feeling. There was no bhakti, because the person who wrote that was not a devotee. And we heard yesterday from Ananta Prabhu that Srimad Bhagavatam has a structure, and it's true, but it's always in connection with Krishna and his devotees. It's always in connection, and you can see. I was just searching for some example. In fifth canto, Shukadev Goswami describes the different planetary systems to Parikshit Maharaj. So he says, "Oh, there's I will describe you the lower planetary system, and there's this planet called Atala, and on this planet there's this demon, and this happens." And then he goes to, next planet after Atala is Vitala, where Lord Shiva is doing this and that, and so. And then he goes to next. And he says, below Vitala is another planet known as Sutala. And then he starts, there is where Bali Maharaj is living. And then he starts, Bali Maharaj, who is doing that, and who is doing that, and he's doing that, and that. And then after 10 verses, he's like, okay, I will tell you about Bali Maharaj later. Okay. And then this is an important topic, Bali Maharaj. We'll go back to this. And then he goes to next planet. He said, and after is Sutala. After Sutala is Talatala, and this happens and that happens, and and then it just goes back, And you can always see this kind of things they are doing in Bhagavatam, but because where they really find pleasure is in discussing about Krishna and his devotees. So you can see they are discussing something, and there's some question, and they discuss like half a canto. Of course, they don't have cantos, or about Prahlad Maharaj, wow, Prahlad Maharaj, and they get really excited. Like in Slovenia, you're like, wow, Ares, you can imagine, like they're really excited. They're like, wow, Prahlad Maharaj, and what, really, wow, and his father, wow, they are really interesting. And the others, okay, there's some information. Yes, and this Manu. And during this Manu, Dhruva Maharaj came. Oh, really, Dhruva Maharaj? I heard about Dhruva Maharaj because Parikshit Maharaj, he's a great devotee already. But he's always like, I heard about Dhruva, and tell me about Dhruva Maharaj. And then you're like, they discuss 3 hours about Dhruva, and then they go to next subject. So it's always how they discuss Bhagavatam. It's they discuss some topics, and then they remember, this pastime, and they speak 3 hours on that pastime, because there's such a pleasure they have in speaking about Krishna. Okay, and that was a side topic. And here we find in the purport, this Ananta Prabhu already explained yesterday, that an avatar appears many times. It doesn't appear just once. So then you can have the question, did he kill Hayagriva or did he save Satyavrata? And sometimes you find this, you find in different Puranas, different versions of stories, of appearance of different avatars, and then you're like, which one is true? Because here it says this, he did this, and here it says it did this. So which one is true? You know, you're thinking, which one is true? And actually, both are true. Because it's speaking of, most probably it's speaking of different incarnations. So most of the time Krishna comes and he has more or less same lila, but always a bit different. It's like even if you have these theater companies and so on, they play a drama and it's always a bit different. You know, like it's in principle is Othello, but it's always sometimes the actor feels inspired to say something else, you know, like or do something else, or no, like here in the purport it speaks about Varahadev. So yes, usually what he does is saving the earth, which is falling into the Garbhodaka ocean, and he's picking up and putting the earth back to orbit. And sometimes in some incarnation we find that he is also killing the demon Hiranyaksha. In other incarnation, he's not. So it's both they are true, because there's different pastimes, different appearances of the same personality. So that's good to know, because sometimes devotees get into this controversy. Well, it's written here like this and here like this. So which one is true? Yeah, it can be true because it's different incarnations. Okay, so we'll get to text 11 and we'll stop at text 14. Just translation and... okay. In this millennium, King Satyavrata later became the son of Vivasvan, the king of the sun planet, and was known as Shradadeva. By the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was given the post of Manu. One day, while King Satyavrata was performing austerities by offering water on the bank of the river Kritamala, a small fish appeared in the water in his palms. Text 13. Satyavrata, the king of Dravida Desha, threw the fish into the water of the river along with the water in his palm. O King Parikshit, descendant of Bharata. Text 14. With an appealing voice, the poor small fish said to King Satyavrata, who was very merciful, "My dear king, protector of the poor, why are you throwing me in the water of the river, where there are other aquatics who can kill me? I am very much afraid of them." Purport. In the Matsya Purana it is says, Ananta Shaktir Bhagavan, Matsya Rupi Janardana, Kridartam Yachayam Asa Svayam Satyavratam Nripam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead possesses unlimited potencies. Nonetheless, in his pastime in the form of a fish, he begged protection from King Satyavrata. Hare Krishna, we'll close this. Okay. So it's this is really interesting, really funny, how the Lord is begging protection. It's really interesting to say, and what we should know is that he's not a fish. He has the form of a fish, but he's not conditioned. In the purport of the text yesterday, this point is made, that usually you are a fish because you have bad karma. Funny thing. We were wanted to go with Harinam in Vrhnika, and then I was looking to see where are the spots, where are the people, And then I was looking on the internet, and then I see human fish brewery. They have a beer factory apparently in Slovenia, which is called Human Fish. So probably these people know a bit about karma. And maybe in the next life, if they have enough pious credit, they will become a fish in the ocean of beer. Probably there is an ocean of beer also. Like sometimes Srila Prabhupada, when he was describing the different oceans in the universe and the different planetary systems, at some point he said, and there is also an ocean of LSD. Because his disciples were taking LSD, so this affirmation didn't make it into Srimad Bhagavatam. But apparently, if you hear the transcriptions, Prabhupada made this this affirmation. There is an ocean of LSD. So probably similarly, there is an ocean of beer somewhere. And if these people from Human Fish Brewery have enough pious credit, they will become a fish in the ocean of beer. It's a half joke, but the point is that usually you become a fish if you're really conditioned. You have bad karma and you act like a fish, so you become a fish. But what we have to remember is that Krishna, when he comes as a fish, he doesn't have a normal fish, conditioned fish body. So he's acting like a fish, but he's not conditioned, and his body is still Satchidananda. It's full of bliss, full of knowledge. So we cannot think that it's the same thing. Oh, okay, now he's a fish. Oh, okay. How does the fish speak? Because he's speaking to King Satyavrata. No, when he comes, he looks like a fish, but he's not a normal fish. Srila Prabhupada gives a very nice example, like a king going to the prison. So sometimes the king wants to see what's going on in the prison. And then he comes to see, and the prisoner there are looking, and they're like, oh my God, the king is also a prisoner. No. Oh, he must have committed a crime, that's why he's in prison. No. They can think like this. But actually, the king, when he goes to the prison, he's not a prisoner. He's not under the conditioning of the prison. He can get out whenever he wants. And he's still controlling the whole kingdom, including the prison. So he's not really ordinary. He's not like the other prisoners who are there because they committed some crime. So there is also this nice example of Sakshi Gopal. You probably all know the story. Because it's similar. When Krishna appears in his deity form, you might think, oh, he's a deity. It's just stone. So you have in this story that there's this older Brahmana and this younger Brahmana. And the older Brahmana is very happy with the young Brahmana. He says, okay, I will give you my daughter in marriage. And he says, the young Brahmana, he's really detached. He doesn't care so much, But yeah, he accepts. Okay, you want to give me your daughter in marriage? Okay. But because I know you will have some problems because I'm poor, you're rich, and you will have some problems with your family, we'll just go in front of the deity and you'll promise this in front of the deity. And then it's settled. So they're like, okay, we'll do it like this. And then they go back And what the young brahmana expected is happening. The whole family is they are really, what, really, you give your daughter to this poor brahmana? Oh my god, no, it's not possible. And they put so much pressure on him that eventually he's like, well, I cannot do this, I will. And then they make a plan, and the young brahmana says, okay, but you promised, what's with this promise? And then the older brahmana says something like nothing, and the son of the brahmana says, oh, just go away. And eventually they get settled that they agree that if the deity comes and witnesses that this promise was made, then we will give the daughter in marriage. Because the son of the brahmana, being an atheist, is like, the deity comes. It's a deity, it's some stone. What can some stone do, like? And so they all agree. And the young brahmana, he's like, okay. But he's doing this more to protect the reputation of the older brahmana. So he's going in front of the deities, and he's like, yeah, you remember that this older brahmana promised that he will give his daughter in marriage? Says, yes, I'm a deity. Yes, I'm. I have good memory, not like you. And then like, okay, we need you to bear witness that they will accept. But I'm a deity. I don't go from place to place because I'm a deity. And then the young brahmana says, no, you can talk. I hear you can talk, so you can walk also. You're not a deity. You're not a stone. You're directly Krishna, so you can do whatever you want. So then the deity says, oh, okay, that makes sense. It's true. So the deity actually walks. So this is classic, and then bears witness, and then happy end. But the main idea in this story is that when Krishna appears in some forms, even in the deity form, he's not conditioned. We are conditioned, so we don't see. It's like Srila Prabhupada gave this example of the sun. There are some clouds, and it's not that the sun is covered. We are covered. So sun is still there. Sun is still with full potency, but we don't see the sun. So it's similarly the deity. Krishna is there, but we don't see that. We are covered, not the deity. So similarly, we might see a fish, but it's not a fish. It has the same potency as Krishna has in all the other incarnations. And here we have he's just in a really playful attitude, like you usually play with friends. You play with people who are dear to you. You don't play with people who you don't care about. So Krishna plays tricks on his devotees. So you're really lucky if he plays tricks on you. Like for example, Tuesday, I went for Sankirtan, and I really didn't feel like going. I was like, oh, come on, let's. But then I was like, okay, let's go. So I go out, like, and I get to the train station, and a bit before train station, I also get the books out, like, and maybe I talk to a few people, and then I hear from a car, Haribol. They're like, okay, Haribol. So then I see it's Bhakta Tadei. He was just passing with the car through there, and he saw me, and he was thinking, oh, okay, what are you doing? Oh, I'm going for Sankirtan. Okay, and then he was thinking, oh, it's Ekadashi, it's auspicious day to go for Sankirtan. So then he said, okay, I will. He was just contemplating, should he go, should he come, should he not, because he had some other stuff to do. So he said, okay. And I said, okay, just come for half an hour and then you'll see, you know. So then he goes, he parks the car, he comes for half an hour and discuss. And then after half an hour, he's like, oh, I should really go because I have so many things to do. And then so I'm like, you know, I mean, you know what you have to do. So if you have to go, you just go. So he goes. And after 15 minutes, I see Tadej, like, what's up with you? Didn't you go? And then he explained that he went to the parking place. He paid for the parking, and then he wanted to go out, but the car didn't work. so he didn't work, and he was like, okay, because before he was really, I don't know, in this mood that I don't know what Krishna wants me to do. Does he want me to go and do my things, or does he want me to go for Sankirtan? He was like torn, you know, like between having a hard time to decide. So then he said, okay, so then probably Krishna wants me to go for Sankirtan. What to do? He blocked my car. I cannot go out of the parking. So, okay, I will go for Sankirtan. So then he came for Sankirtan. We distributed like 1 hour, 1.5 hours after that. And then we went back, you know, and he went to the parking. He put the car. He put the same card. He didn't pay anything more. He put the card in, and this opened, and he went out. You know, so Krishna was really playing with him some trick. Okay, no. I will block the car. Block your car now. You have to go for Sankirtan. So it was really funny to see this, and he was really understanding what's going on. And you have many times Krishna in this playful mood that devotees want to go away from Krishna consciousness, and Krishna is like just destroying their material life, just, you know, like just smashing everything, you know. And then you're like coming back to the devotees. Oh, okay, Krishna. So material life is not funny. Okay, I got this point. Okay. And so, and we should interpret this as Krishna's mercy, Krishna's playful attitude, that he is playing with us. If he's playing with us, it means that we are dear to him. You know, because most of the people, he just lets them do their thing, and the demigods apply the karmic reactions, and that's it. So if they want to do something, they can do, no problem. But for his devotees, Krishna is really playing these tricks that he tries to bring them closer. You know, like here he pretends to be a helpless fish. Like, oh, can you help me? I'm helpless. Oh, it's not good that you're doing like this. Oh, please protect me. So, for whose benefit is this protection? You would say this protection is for the fish's benefit. No, of course not. This protection is a way to engage Satyavrata in the service. So this is a really, I have many notes, but I'll just cut it short. So this is sometimes what we also do. That we try to, we're like in this begging attitude, but what we're really looking, we want to do is to engage people in Krishna's service. Like also on that day, I met a lady and she didn't speak English. So I told her all the Slovenian words I know. All my phrases: yoga, meditacije, karma, reinkarnacije, daj donacije, za dušo, duhovno znanje. And eventually she gave the book back, you know. And then sometimes in Sankirtan I do some, I feel inspired to do some fancy things, and I was like just putting the puppy eyes. Like, Domen saw this. He likes the puppy eyes. I sometimes do this. and she was looking at me, and she said, all right, I will give you a donation. and then she gave actually a big donation, a good donation, and then I handed her over the book, and she looked at me, and I was preparing to do the puppy eyes again, and she said, all right, I will take the book also. Okay. So actually, what we're doing is not for our benefit. We don't. It is for our benefit also, but it's for their benefit. That, like Krishna, we are doing all these things that we engage people in devotional service. We somehow, one way or another, bring them closer to Krishna. And like Vaisheshika Prabhu sometimes says in Sankirtan that when he asks for donation, he sometimes says that, you know, this is you get more benefit than I do. He tells to people, okay, if you give a donation, you will get a lot more benefit than I do. Which is true, I mean, which is actually the mood. That this person who gives a donation, he's doing some devotional service. So actually, we're not about getting their Lakshmi, it's about giving them the opportunity to engage their Lakshmi in devotional service. What will they do with that Lakshmi? They will go and drink a beer, do so many stupid things. But some part of their Lakshmi, if they give for devotees, for some reason, because they like them, because, I don't know, knowingly, unknowingly, because they put the puppy eyes. But somehow or another, they are doing some devotional service. So that's really the idea, and that's what Krishna is also doing here with King Satyavrata. He's like, oh, can you help me, please? I'm helpless. But actually, it's for their benefit. Yeah, I'll stop here. If there's some comments, questions, concerns, please.
The puppy eyes work.
Okay, thank you very much. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nice.
Marco was joking. Come on, give a donation. Come on, come on. Come on. Come on, give a donation.
This one, he was totally opposite. Totally opposite. No, he's so much artistic. And then somehow he came out of color eventually. In the end, like when he gave the donation, he was even happy. You can do it. Do it for yourself. Do it for Krishna.
I also tell them sometimes, if you believe it, of course you'll get the benefit. Not I mean, if I have, it's good for you to be something.
You can explain it on karma. It's for good karma. Like Matari, like Matari, he was like, he's sometimes coming to that type of thing.
What is yours? It's happy what
Yeah, Matari. No, he's what?
His what is he was supposed
I have work.
Carrying food and so on. But we met him and I was like just joking with it, saying, "Hi, how are you?" Because we know each other, so I was going to distribute a book to him or something. And we're like, I was like, we're doing this, and we just, people give something for a donation for good karma. Who doesn't have good karma? And he said, well, I want to have a good karma. Let's see if I have something.
and then his other world distributors that nothing came, and he also distributed books to them.
He was himself. He came. I can give a donation for good karma.
Yeah.
When I was working back there yesterday, like I think 2 or 3 people, I just offered them a flyer, and I barely said anything. Oh, this was good luck, I said. Very immediately, okay, then just put the wallet out, and then it's great something, you know. I was like, I'm not taking your money, but I'll give you a book, please take it. It was immediate.
Yeah, when you're empowered, people just line up. You know.
You know how the world record was beaten. Like now it's holding this he had, I think, last year, he had this record for almost 30 years. He did in the village in one day, almost 1,000 books. You know how it happened. And
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
so
Hare
like
Krishna,
he
Hare
came
Krishna,
to one village, and like, he was just getting one refusal after.
Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Really praying. Start curing, curing the car, he gets information that actually some other devotees was in the same village before, and they did huge amount of books. And then like when those people actually all the inhabitants of the village took the books, they said maybe he has some other new books. And they come to ask him like there's some other books. Yes, he had many books. And he was just giving out from the van. I have books. Yeah, so this is like one of his best recommendation, like, really useful, is that, like, you just have to, not to bring the obstacles, like, guys, so